What's up, guys? Welcome back to Cool Fred's Beamer Tech. So I'm still working on that E60, that 2010 535. That's over here. So you see that I got it jacked up a little bit more. So I just need a little bit more clearance. Let me see here. So I got the exhaust hanging. Got the exhaust loose. On the in some of the last videos, pretty much I'm in the process of replacing these O2 sensors. I've already gotten this is bank 1 before cat. So this O2 sensor right here, this is the well, this is actually bank 2 before cat, which is the rear turbo, which is the some people refer to them as front and rear turbos, and some will say bank 1 or bank 2 with cylinders 1 through 3 or 4 through 6. So got that out of there. But what I decided I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take the catalytic converter out. At least try to get the front one out so I can get to. So the main dilemma, in addition to replacing the O2 sensors, is I got to replace this seal on the back intake pipe that goes to that rear turbo, because this right here, it's got a little oil leak from there. Because sometimes, you know, as the engine's running, you know, a little oil may bleed through the seals on the turbo, or somehow you have like a little bit of oil circulating, you know, back to the intake pipe in the turbo system, especially a car with this many miles on it. So sometimes the oil, especially if the car is sitting, sometimes that oil over time will deteriorate this seal. So this seal is causing our lean mixture, and it's causing, you know, basically fuel trim code. So lean mixture means that there's too much air, not enough fuel. But, you know, in this case, the engine computer, which is the DME, and that stands for digital motor electronics, that's trying to, it's basically trying to add more fuel to compensate for the air leak. So that's what we got. But I decided I'm gonna take the axle, well, I'm gonna take the catalytic converters out, but to get the cat's out on this car, because it's all-wheel drive, you have to take the axle and the support bearing down. So I had to grab some extra parts, because while I was taking the exhaust loose, the seal that's in there now, the gasket was starting to crumble apart. And of course, you got an axle nut, and the gasket is between the catalytic converter, and then there's a seal, or an O-ring rather. Get this out the back. So this O-ring goes between the bearing ledge. For the axle bearing support, there are 4 bolts in there where it goes to the oil pan, because these axles actually go through the oil pan, and the front diff is actually bolted to the other side of the oil pan on the driver's side. So I'm gonna be taking those things loose to get that out. And I'm gonna grab a flashlight real quick, and I'm gonna show you guys you know, what I got going on so far. All right, so we're in the car. On this one, I took the back partition trim out, because the repair instructions tell you to remove the transmission. So I know I've done one of these a long time ago at work, and I don't remember exactly removing the transmission, but oh well. But at the same time, you know, one dilemma is I don't have access to a lift right now. And so when you're at home in the comfort of your garage or your own driveway, you know, so I got these jack stands. So I got it lifted up, and pretty much got the car even enough I can slide up under there, kind of move some stuff around. So I got the back supported on these these little jack blocks or whatever. Walmart has those. A lot of places have them, but I got those from Walmart, so that makes it easy just to kind of, do quick oil changes and stuff like that. Like on my truck or my wife's car, I can just roll it up on that, slide up under there and change the oil and stuff real quick. But it also comes in handy when you need to lift 4 sides of a vehicle. And, because my other jack stands were a little bit too short, so I had to go to my 6-ton ones, which are right there. So I got it up sufficiently so I can get up under there and do what I need to do. But as far as the back side of the engine here, let's see what we got. So I was able to access the pipe. I don't know if you guys can see it, but because it's just a lot. It's like everything is black, everything's blending in back here. But basically that thing right here that you see there's 2 screws out of, I didn't realize my camera actually adjusted. So I got this thing loose, and this right here is the pipe. That's the pipe in question. So it's pretty loose. It's just a bigger, and it kind of goes down there, and the turbo, where it goes is kind of buried right here in the middle section. And it's just kind of hard to see. A lot of stuff is buried in here. But, so, I mean, that's my plan, to drop the cats real quick. And I'm just really trying to just go ahead and get this knocked out. So I'm probably gonna, just set up the camera and you guys will see a little bit about how I get some of this stuff out of here. But once I get down to it, I'll fire the camera back up and talk some more about it. The other thing is, as far as tools, because the other day, because I started working on it like after work, getting it jacked up and just doing the things that I could. Got the exhaust loop, stuff like that. I really didn't show too much footage on that stuff. But, so I've grabbed some extra tools from work. Well, these are my tools, of course, but so, I mean, I got some extra long picks. I got some random transmission bolts, because some of these had aluminum transmission bolts. And I got my air hammer so I can get that axle out. So I basically just got, just a lot of random stuff that I think I would need. I got my big pliers here because I'm not, between the tie rod end and the like the ball joint to get that nut loose. I'm gonna have to at least loosen that, and the control arm at the subframe, the wishbone rather. So I just got a few things that I knew I was gonna need. Some of this stuff is irrelevant to the car, but I was out doing some brakes yesterday, so I got my brake pad spreader. I got some of these angled Blue Point pliers here to help me, assisting getting and grabbing things. So I guess one thing I was gonna mention is just because I believe this client had a coolant leak or something, and he took it to a independent shop. But some independent shops, yeah, they work on BMWs, but they really don't specialize in them. So I kind of noticed like a lot of bolts, things not tight, screws loose, or some things left out. And pretty much so a little bit of story on this car. I believe this client bought this car in like maybe 2012 or 2013 or something, and it actually had, because it's 2010, so it had a little bit when he got it, I want to say it had at least CPO. It had a little bit of warranty and CPO. And then and this is a close friend to my brother and another guy that I grew up with. So mutual friends. But I want to say I started working on this thing like in 2015. I remember the first job I did to it, which was a thermostat, and I did that over here in the driveway. But but pretty much, you know, I've been working on it over the years. I know I've done spark plugs, valve cover. Actually, how I smoke tested this one. I don't recall smoke testing it. I definitely didn't have a smoke machine back then, but it was cracked and leaking oils. Like some of these valve covers crack, and that can also cause a lean mixture code. I replaced these oil pipes because I remember these were leaking and stuff like that. But pretty much what I'm gonna say, like it was a point where I think he was going to the independent shop to get one of the leaks fixed, and you know, you getting back in here, and nothing's butchered or anything like that, but you just notice the things that were left loose. So you guys just, you know, keep that in mind. And I guess real quick, I'm gonna talk about one of the tools I used to get that O2 sensor loose. All right, so on that O2 sensor, the one I was able to get out, actually had another tool that I was trying to use because the angle that I saw it in, it's actually back at work. I left it at work because I don't need it, but it's actually kind of like this. This is not the tool, but it's like this, and it has a slide in it. It's an O2 sensor socket. That's a 22 millimeter, but it was kind of deep like that. But due to the angle of the coolant pipe, I wasn't able to get it. Like, it would get close, but it wouldn't get all the way down on there. So I had to get that out with this right here, which is a Matco socket that I got, O2 sensor socket that I got the tool truck. So that's a part number right there. And I recently just picked this one up the other day because I just wanted something a little bit different. So I got this off of one of the other two trucks. This is an OTC number, or OTC tool. So this was a little bit deeper, but not too deep. And the cool thing about this is I can put a 1/2-inch drive, whether it's a stubby extension, or I can put that in there, and I can clock it different ways to help me get that out. So I'm gonna try it real quick. It really doesn't matter because I'm taking the cat down anyway, but I'm gonna try that to see if it's gonna do anything, just for, you know, for future things, because sometimes I'm working on other things than BMW, so it'd be cool to kind of have something that'll work. All right, I'm about to go ahead and get this axle out. Hopefully I got a good angle. Because remember, that's the first thing to go. All right, so we got the axle out. I got that out. So, and you can already see how much room is in there. I do have to move the axle support, or we call it a bearing ledge, which is that. So that's what I'm about to get out of there next. It's just 4 13mm screws on that. But you guys were probably wondering, like when I took the axle out, when I said I'll put this drain pan here because the fluid is gonna come out. So it didn't lose a whole lot of fluid, maybe just because the angle in which it's jacked up. But I do have some to top it off with. And the front differential, which is on the other side of the oil pan. So I'm gonna get that off of there. I'm gonna loosen those 4 13mm bolts. That's right there. You can't see the top one because it's accessible, but it's just the angle with my camera's at. So I'm gonna go ahead and get that out of there. All right, here we go. So this is the stage that we're at. So the axle's out. Actually, I got a bunch of parts out of here. Like, you can sum up all the trims, the microfilter housings, which is all that stuff there, the top trim. I got stuff up under the car. This is one of the bolts for that bearing ledge. Got all that stuff there up under there. So a lot of parts out of here at the moment. But that's all good. But yeah, so I got the bearing ledge out. And the seal that I'm gonna replace going back is that little O-ring seal right there. Right now I just stuck a towel in there, paper towel in there, so the diff fluid doesn't continue to leak out. So from this point on, you can see this gives us a lot of room to get this catalytic converter out. And just the way this subframe is, you got to take this one out to get the other one out. So also there's a little bit more of a, that's the O2 sensor right there that I got to get out and replace. So you can see that it's a little bit more room to kind of access that too and get that out of there. And these are some of the parts I got. So these gaskets here, I was letting you guys know that they were starting to kind of crumble apart. So I wanted to get those. So basically, what I did, once I realized I was gonna need all these extra parts, all the gaskets that go between the cat and the turbo and that O-ring, so things like that. So all of those extra parts, including the axle nut, all of that stuff total up to around about $112 and some change. Of course, some of those parts are a little bit at a discount, but they're probably close to about $130, $140 worth of parts. So if it was like $40, $50, I would have went on and got it. But stuff like that, if it's a little bit more than normal, I need to call the client and make sure he's cool with it, and he actually sent the money over so I can get the extra parts that I need. So so the next step is I'm gonna get the catalytic converter loose and get it out of there. So I'm gonna try my new tool out real quick to see how close it'll work, just for like a regular scenario, without hypothetically, like if the axle and stuff like that was still in there. So I'm gonna go ahead and play around with this stuff and try to get to that back seal back there on that pipe that I need to replace. So we're getting a little bit more room in here, so I should be able to do something with it. Worst case scenario, I'm gonna have to take the other catalytic converter out for the second turbo, which is a little tricky to see, but this is the first one here, but the second one actually, it kind of curves backwards and goes right, a little tricky to see, but it kind of goes back up in there. It's just where that clamp is, so it kind of snakes and take like almost a 90-degree turn. So that's that. So I'm gonna see what I can do up under here. So another thing I was gonna mention, I mean, just to kind of get to this stage right here, it probably took me about 30 minutes, and that's with that's with managing the camera, trying to get different camera angles and positions and things like that. But this is probably something, especially, I mean, if it would definitely be faster if I was on a lift. But still, I say 20-25 minutes to get to this point. Now that's with all the trims and stuff like that out, of course, because I've had those trims out over the course of a few days. So I've already had the exhaust back, but just pretty much where I started this morning. I just moved this brake caliper out of the way and hung it up just to have it out of the way. Lower control arm, sway bar link. So of course air hammer to get the axle out, and then kind of hit it out with a pry bar and a hammer from the other side. So everything's going along smooth so far. All right, so before I was trying to mention that I was gonna be trying out this new O2 sensor socket. Now I'm not sure how well it would work if the axle was in here, but I would have been able to at least to try to get it up in there. So that's it right there. Even though it's daylight outside, it's like I still don't have a whole lot of light. It's just because I'm under the car. But I'm put my little Harbor Freight light here on the frame. But now I'm taking the catalytic converter out anyway, but it's already tight in here. So this is that tool, that OTC tool. So, but it's already tight in here, and you know, I'm just kind of excited that it works. So I bought this off of one of the tool trucks that comes to my job, but they sell other tools other than Snap-on and Mako, so I was able to pick this OTC up. So it was like 45 bucks. The main reason I wanted it because it has that little deeper edge on it. You see where I compared it to the other one at first. And my second thing is, so now this is one of my Matco quarter-inch drive wrenches, and I got an adapter on here. Now this is just a Duralast 3/8 to a 1/2 inch adapter. So it's a little bit of room in there, but and the other nice thing is on this one is that it looks like I can clock it different angles. I can clock a socket or extension different angles. So I'm gonna try this and see if it works. Well, I kind of know it's gonna work just because I can get in there. I just got to get a good enough, good enough force on it. It's just hard for me to hold the camera and do that at the same time. So, just want to thank you guys for checking out Cool Fred's Beamer Tech. If you guys are new to the channel, my name is Alfred. I go by Cool Fred. So I've got over 17 years of experience working on Beamers, and I've got over 25, maybe I got at least a good 25 years of just working on cars in general. So if you guys find anything helpful in any of my videos, please like and subscribe. Cool Fred's Beamer Tech is going to be a variety of content like this and some other specialized content, mostly on BMW, but I may include some other European models from time to time. And if you guys want to know like what I was doing before I started working on Beamers, is I was working on classic cars. So working on older cars or cars that were in the 80s. This is a 1973 Chevy Impala. So there's some content on it on Cool Fred's Garage, which is my other YouTube channel. So I try to keep most of the European and BMW stuff over on Cool Fred's Beamer Tech, and everything else is going to be on Cool Fred's Garage. So just want to let you guys know that. So I'm gonna try to get that O2 sensor out of there and get that cat out and see how close I can get to that seal on that back pipe. All right, so to let you guys know, I did get it. I was able to get that O2 sensor broke loose. I just got to finish threading it out. So yeah, I mean, this tool in this case was well worth the money, I will say. So the reason earlier, I know I mentioned, I started talking about this this Matco ratchet and this and why it's one of my favorites. I said one of my favorites, but basically it's because it has a low profile thin head on it. So now this tool can be used with a 1/2 inch drive. I probably could have got this one in there, but you know, just looking at the space, that probably would fit. But this right here I knew was going to be more compact. And then, but the thing is, I did put an adapter on it. So it's probably nice in some cases to see, because actually some of these wrenches they'll make with this body, but they'll put a 1/2 inch head on it. So for compact spaces, that's something that's probably could be considered. But I have this snap-on ratchet here too, which I love this one also. It has a swivel, it's got a curve to it and a swivel head. So I was on the snap-on truck one day, and I think these things were on clearance or on deal. I don't know if they were getting discontinued, or sometime, you know, maybe they go to these different expos and shows and they get certain discounts on certain things. But I think I paid I think this thing was like 80 or 90 bucks, regular at least like 150. And it has a quick disconnect button here. Probably one of the only snap-ons, not only, but usually they don't have the quick release. Usually that's like a Craftsman or something. But for this to be a snap-on, but I like the curved area there. But the thing I wanted to point out, you can see the difference in the thickness between that head and this one, and you can compare them. And it's a little bit more low profile. So I mean, it's not much. It's maybe only a couple millimeters, but still about 2 to 3. But still, if you're trying to get into a tight spot, that right there will be the difference between. It'll be the difference between, you know, getting something in a hard location and not getting it. So another thing to note is that these O2 sensors in this car, like it's a couple pipes, like a coolant pipe and a couple like one of the charge air pipes that kind of run. So these O2 sensors got to run like in a specific location on here, especially that that front one there. So if some of you are doing this on your own, you might want to take pictures and keep up with where the stuff comes from. So I just got to finish straightening it out, but the main dilemma now is just twisting up top. I think I almost got it, to be honest with you, but it's almost out of there. And I will say, these things just alone, these things these are a beast. So I mean, it's a very time-consuming job. It's not the easiest thing to do, just because they're and that's on any N54. So I finally got that bad boy out. And so another thing, I know I'm about to take the cats out, so I usually try to mark the clocking position of the clamps and the turbo, so I can line everything back up as close as possible. So now for this, what I'm gonna try to do is pull it out through the top. I'm just gonna pull it up a little bit right now, so when I get ready to put the new one in, I can see how it which way it's supposed to route. So in some cases I would tie like a wire or a string to kind of help me out. I tie like a wire or a string, but it kind of goes down through here, but it's a specific location it's got to go through. So I kind of know how it goes, but I'm just gonna let it stay in this position right now. And I do have them marked, and I normally mark the bottom parts of them too, which I am gonna do in a minute. So, and that brings me to the other point. Investing in one of these good paint markers is also a good idea, because you can mark different boats, because some boats are different sizes, some are longer, some are shorter. Maybe not particularly in this case, but in a lot of cases of modern cars in general. So I'm gonna go ahead and try to get that cat out of there. It's a bracket on the back of the transmission. I'm gonna have to loosen that up just a little bit. So I gotta do that. And of course I got some extra bolts that was left over from another job I did a while ago. So just in case I need, because this one, some of these cars, especially the 528s that had the N52, and some early N54s had magnesium blocks, so you can't use steel bolts between the transmission and engine. So that's why a lot of these are aluminum. So a lot of these got aluminum bolts in certain places that hold like the water pump to the lower block. I want to say this is aluminum block, so it probably don't matter, but just because this engine and things like that were a lot similar. It's kind of based off of an N52. It's not exactly like an N52, but it's close. It's that generation, that new generation. That's why it has an N in front of it. So like all the N52s, N54s, N55 were like that newer generation of engines that was back in the late 2000s. And then in the 2010s, I want to say around 2015, they started coming out with the B engines, which is like the modular block. So let me go ahead and get this out of there and go from there. All right, so I got the bank one catalytic converter out. So so as you know, we're changing those O2 sensors, which the before cat goes there. So it's at more of that angle there when it's installed. And the main reason for me taking it out is so I can be able to access this intake pipe over here. So that's it right there, the one that's got the little oil drip on it. That black pipe that attaches to the back side of the turbo. So trying to get that back enough so I can replace that seal. I should be able to get to it, so I can get my hand in there nice and good. I'm probably just gonna go ahead and because all I gotta do is loosen this cat, take this one out. It's only gonna take me like another 30 seconds to get it out. So I often, just talking to people in general, they often, say to me that they think BMW, as far as they like the way they perform and drive and things like that. Now, this is only some people, not everybody, but they complain about how much it costs to maintain and keep up the vehicle. But you guys want to keep in mind, you can see the concoction of tools that I have here, laying around to be able to do this job. But pretty much, when you go to a specialized shop or a dealership or somebody who specializes in working on these vehicles, what you're paying for their knowledge, their skill, and the experience that they have. And also when it comes to going to the dealership or certain specialized shops, you're paying for them having special tools. Because this engine alone, I remember actually when these came out in 2008. Actually, this engine came out in the 335 back in 2007. So the 335s, those things sold like hotcakes. The coupe, and also that would be the E92 and the E90, the E90 and E92. But the E92, when that car came out, was basically a two-door 3 Series that came out in 2007. Everybody back then wanted one. It had, you can get it in a 328 or a 335, of course, and then the M3 came out later. But specifically, this particular engine, it's direct injected, twin turbo. There's so many specialized tools. Even back then, this is a 2010, so this thing is 13 years old. But you know, still there are special tools like to get the injectors out, to change the seals on the injectors, to adjust the turbochargers. If you need to do the walnut blast, I mean, it's just on and on. So having somebody with the expertise and the knowledge to be able to do those things, you know, is just that's pretty much what you're paying for. So and the other thing is, some people forgot that they bought the ultimate driving machine, whether they bought it new or they bought it second hand. So and most of the time, people that buy these second hand, you know, it's no knock to getting, you know, one cheaper. This client, he actually bought this one, as I mentioned before. So he bought it maybe, I guess, 3 years. Maybe, you know, it was probably an off-lease car or something like that. He was able to get it with low miles. And he probably, you know, he might have had like 25 to 30,000 miles on it when he got it. And it had a remainder of the factory warranty left. Then it had CPO. So I always stress to people, well, this car is too old for extended warranty right now, but you know, if you're buying these, you know, try to get something, you know, that's 3 to 5 years, 3 to 5 years old, that's probably got a remainder of the factory warranty or CPO, or if you can buy an extended warranty. So that'll help some of you guys out, so that, you know, when it comes towards expensive repairs. But basically, I mean, I was just trying to because I want to say by the time I started working on this car, I think his CPO just ran out. So, and I did replace that thermostat, and I've done a whole bunch of other things to it over the years. But those are just some things to consider. And also, I've also ran into issues with people you know, try to save some money, take these things to, you know, just somebody they know at a, you know, just at a, I'm not gonna say a shade tree mechanic, because, you know what I'm saying, everybody's not a shade tree mechanic, and there probably are some good ones out there, but you know, somebody like myself that actually specializes in something like this is who you would probably want to take it to, versus just taking somebody that can be like, you know, I can do this or I can do that, and they're experimenting with your car, leaving things loose and things like that. So I just wanted to put that out there. But I'm finna go ahead and I'm making some good progress here. So I'm gonna just go ahead and take the other catalytic converter out. I probably could sneak it, but it's just one. The bracket is already loose in the back. All I gotta do is loosen that clamp. The clamp is already loose anyway, so I can move it around. So I'm just gonna take it out and get that out of the way, and then I'm gonna replace that. I'm gonna take the pipe down and show you guys, you know, what it looked like, and I'm gonna start putting this thing back together. All right, so there we go. That's what it looks like when both of the catalytic converters are removed. So got both of those removed, sitting over there. So these are the clamps. I got those marked, and those are the gaskets up in there. So I'm gonna replace both of those gaskets between the turbo and the than the catalytic converter. I'm gonna get off subject for a second real quick. So this area right here of the turbo, that's called the wastegate right here, and where that little disc is. And on these N54s, because this one has like a little rattle, so I'm trying to move that thing around a little bit. But basically what happens on some of these, that one up there I actually seems like it's okay, but maybe this one back here, the second one, so these little, actually, like you can see this right here, this movement. I'm trying to see, because I'm actually moving it a lot. So right there, so this second turbo, bank 2, all of that movement that's right there in the wastegate on this right here. So that right there is what's causing this turbo. Pretty much when you get the mid boost, when it gets to mid boost, it's I can move it back and forth, but this thing, it has a lot of slop in it. Let's see if I can move the rod. So that thing has a lot of slop in it. So basically, when it's opening and closing, it's hanging up midway because it's too much slop. So basically, in that little loose point, it's not going to do it every time, but every now and again. So let's say if it gets stuck midway, like, because this is the adjuster, it's a vacuum. It's a vacuum actuated. So this vacuum line moves this actuator here, which moves that wastegate. So basically, you get those little boost faults because it's trying to move this thing to build a certain amount of pressure of boost, and once it doesn't meet that pressure, it's going to throw a reduced power malfunction. So the first turbo seemed like it actually may be okay, because I don't, well, yeah, I'm feeling it now. It does have, it's a little tricky to see because it's up there, but both of them have a lot of movement in it. But the back one, this back one here, all that there, all that slop, that's what's causing it to hang up and go into reduced power mode. So I just want to let you guys know that. But as you can see, I'm at the back of this pipe here, and I'm ready to get that thing off and get that seal replaced. So you can hear how loose it is. So I'm gonna get something, pop that off, and let you guys see what the old seal looks like and put the new one in. So I'm not sure what everybody else is doing, but I figured that the best way to get to that was to take the catalytic converters off, because I mean it's just a tight fit. I was able to get it loose by taking that upper partition trim out, but as far as actually getting to the pipe and be able to put the seal in there without a whole lot of drama, I decided to do this. So that's where I'm at with that. So I'm gonna go ahead and get that pipe out of there enough, and you know, I got a few inches here. Well, I got about a half an inch to an inch, it just depends, but I should be able to kind of move it up and down and snake it around a little bit enough to pop that seal out and pop the new one in. So that's the plan, and then I'm gonna start jamming and putting this thing back together. So I'm gonna replace these gaskets like I was mentioning before, and then I'm gonna replace the gaskets here at these two exhaust pipes, and I'll go from there. All right, so this right here is a few minutes later. So pretty much, as you can see, I got the pipe loose a little bit, but I'm gonna let you guys in on a little secret. And actually, I knew that some of these had this, but I wasn't sure about this one. But some models, they have a 10mm nut holding the pipe. So whatever shortcut that you think you can take, you're not gonna get it off unless you remove that 10mm nut, unless you break the mounting area. So it's still a little bit of a tight fit. I've almost got it, but what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna pop this moon clip off of the wastegate that's up here. So there's a little moon clip right there. So I'm gonna pop that off. I'm gonna take those three, I think they're 10mm. They look like 10mm. Take those three nuts off, slide the wastegate actuator out, and I'm gonna see if that should give me the most access I'll get to it. So, and I'm gonna go from there. Alright, so I finally got this bad boy out of here. So this is the old seal here, and just to let you know, I had to do a little bit of gymnastics with some of these tools and stuff to get this bad boy out of here. But one thing I want to point out is, you see how this new seal, it has a little bit of flex. It has a little bit of flex and give on this rubber portion here. This one right here, like it's hard as a brick almost. Like it didn't have much flex. It's just old and wore out. So it's real hard. There's no flex to it. But I'll go down here and show you guys. I mean, it's just really tight back there. That's this right here is as low as I could get that pipe to go to where I can work it out, and it was still a little bit of a challenge. So I'm gonna go ahead and try to get this new one in there. But as you see, I just did that and it just came out like that. So hopefully I can just kind of, it's something I'm gonna need both of my hands, but I'm just gonna slowly try to get it in place and then move that pipe back up and get it on there and get it going back together. All right, so the new seal is in. You can see that guy right there. So that's in there. So that bad boy is in. Now, I mean, it wasn't so much of a task, but I will say the new seal, it just slid right in like butter. So I just gotta try to slide this up. You guys want to be very careful with this pipe. Be sure not to break it. Hopefully, I'll just move it and get it sealed back on. And it should create a good seal. So it is in place. So that's exactly what we want. So, got a 10mm nut down here somewhere. I got it in my tray. It's it right here. So that's the nut that goes on the back of there. There you go. It actually goes right there. You can see it a lot better because I got the actuator out. So pretty much I did this before I took this nut off because I was able to feel it back there. So I took that off before I took the wastegate actuator off. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna go up top and just kind of get everything situated. All right, so I've been making some real good progress on this thing. That's my light. It's about to go out. It's flashing at me. Let me know I need to charge it. But I've been making some real good progress on this thing. So I just put the O2 sensor in for bank 1 before cat. So what I'm doing now, I'm just kind of routing this down here, just pulling it down. I'm gonna pull it back up and through in a second. But I was just, I had to get that's the part number there, that 4673-6. It's an that might be, it's a OxySense WR 22mm. So that's what you know what size it is. OTC. So I just got this yesterday off the tool truck. It was $45, but you know, to me anything special tool or anything, it's worth its weight in gold if you can get the job done. So it was a little bit different from this other one. I think I had it here with me, my other series. So and some for the other one I used this one, which is a Matco. And you can see here, so that's the one from Matco Tools, and you can kind of see right here the differences between them. But just because of the angle, I wanted something that was a little bit deeper, and plus this one, you got options to angle, you know, different. It's a 1/2 inch drive. You can angle it different ways. So, but yeah, everything's moving along pretty good. I just actually tightened that. I just got to pull that sensor up through the top. But I got all the clamps in from the exhaust. Pretty much everything up under here is done. I just got to put this bearing ledge on. So before I put that in, I'm gonna put another O-ring right here. So I actually got the O-ring in this bag right here, and I got an axle nut. So these were the extras. The extra little parts I need. So the axle nut's gonna go right there when I put the axle back in. I'm getting very close to popping that axle in. But before I do that, I'm just gonna talk a little bit about. So I pride myself in putting things back, you know, where they're supposed to go. A lot of times, you know, even at work, usually cars go back to the customer in the condition that they bring them. But if a lot of things are just absolutely wrong, like wires hanging, like before, like whatever shop it went to last, like these O2 sensor, these are for the post cat, the after cat O2 sensor. These things were just hanging. So if you get something in the road and snag it, and you know you got a check engine light and you got a problem. So put that back. This bracket over here, I think I still got to tighten that up, I believe, but I got to tighten all this stuff up. But I got this on here tight, so I got that bracket back. This was missing a screw. I couldn't find the exact screw to go back, but I found something that'll work, so I put that in there. And then there's one more screw in the back towards the rear of the car. It's like a exhaust hanger that's midpoint. It's not in the back by the bumper, but it's about pretty much where the rear diff is. So I gotta put that. It's an 18 millimeter. I gotta put that screw on there. So taking that screw out and the hanger down kind of allowed me to kind of swing the exhaust back enough to drop it down, so I ain't have to take it all the way out of the car. So it's not hard to take out of the car, but you'll probably need help. So I mean, since I'm by myself, the closest thing I could do is just maybe grab a jack stand and just lower the back down and lower the front down if I had to. But I didn't have to take the exhaust all the way completely out. Yeah, everything's back together. Everything's looking good. I got a few things I need to tighten up real quick. I'm gonna go up here to the top and just pull that O2 sensor. So the wind's been blowing and my fender cover's been going up and back, but pretty much I'm pulling this up, and these O2 sensors, they have that that little aluminum wrap that they have that there for a reason, because they're in between the turbos and it gets hot down there. So but these are up here. So I got both of them up here. Got this one already routed over here. So I'm gonna go ahead and get this one routed. I just gotta feed it through here. It's kind of tricky doing that with one hand, but it goes through there. And over there, and they'll be ready to get plugged in a minute. But, I'm gonna go ahead and button up the rest of the stuff on the bottom of the car. I did take this this vacuum accumulator out for the turbos. I'm not sure exactly which one it is. I think that's for the second one. I don't know. I didn't pay attention. Yeah, this one's for the second one because this hose goes back there. So these are the what you would call the changeover valves of the. They call it the electric wastegate valves. They call it. It's actually a terminology for it, but I don't want to confuse anybody. But so yeah, this will just sit up here like that, and I get those vacuum lines and stuff plugged in. So I'm pretty much getting it to the part where I'll be able to start it up shortly. I'm probably, since I got like the exhaust and everything back together, I'm probably gonna just hook up these crankcase pipes real quick and smoke test it. You know, just to make sure that the leak is fixed, of course, and make sure I don't have anything else major leaking. So I'm gonna do that in a little bit, and then I'm gonna put this thing. I'm gonna put a few things on it. So I'm actually gonna take a break from it in a little bit, and then tomorrow morning, I'm gonna probably get up and put the rest of the trim panels and stuff like that on, get it pretty much ready to button up and get ready to drive. So that's pretty much the plan. So we're gonna, I would say, stay tuned for a little bit before I wrap up today. And I'm kind of looking along, so I see some areas down there where the O2 sensors route. I'm trying to remember because it's like a couple little holders down there, but you know, this thing's been to an independent shop once or twice, so ain't no telling. I think I want to say that when he took it there, they did that. It's a coolant pipe that runs out of the middle of the block between the turbos and goes to like the water pump and some other stuff. So I want to say they did that when he took it over there. All right, so I'm smoke testing the engine again. Well, mainly the crankcase and intake system. So so far I don't see any more leaks. A lot of times when you're smoke testing an engine, like I know the other day I was letting you guys know that, hey, when this thing is all the way down to the bottom, it means that you have no leaks. But pretty much in an engine, you got so many other variables where smoke can trickle through the intake valves to the combustion chamber to, you know, out through the exhaust system, because a few of the valves are not 100% closed. But pretty much what I look for is, I know I don't see a whole bunch of smoke anywhere. I checked the pipe down there. I don't see anything leaking over there. But pretty much like when I take the oil cap off, that's pretty much, I mean, that's the smoke. You see where it's coming out. But you feel a little bit of pressure that's built up. So you know it's pressure built up, and you don't see any smoke anywhere. That means that your leak is fixed. So I'm excited about that. And pretty much just to let you guys know, that's one of those leaks that you would probably never ever find if you didn't have a smoke machine. So a smoke machine is definitely a good investment. So I'm just gonna put that out there. So, but pretty much in a situation where you're smoke testing a fuel system or a tank ventilation system, that system should be completely sealed, you know, and then yeah, this would drop all the way down. So anything like a fuel tank or something like that, but this is one good device on as far as finding where your leak is. So I'm kind of happy I invested in this back in 2020, even though I didn't use it a whole lot back then, because right before I got it, I want to say I got it like Christmas of 19, but yeah, going into 20, you know, going into COVID, I didn't really use it a whole lot, but it's definitely a good investment. So pretty much I'm just gonna put a few more things back together on here, and I'm gonna wake up in the morning. I'm probably gonna go ahead and put the axle in and get the brakes back together and I'm gonna replace that O-ring. So I got this thing right here cleaned up the best that I could. That's the axle support. What they refer to it as a bearing fledge for the axle. So I'm about to put that axle back in here in a little bit. It's sitting over there in my garage. So I'm about to pop that in. I'm gonna change out this seal before I do. I'm gonna lubricate it, probably with some, you can use anything like some Vaseline or something. Just put a little something on that O-ring just to make sure it goes in pretty good. And then I'm gonna top the diff fluid off in the front diff. So that's pretty much gonna be it for today. Thank you guys again for checking out Cool Fred's Beamer Tech. Please subscribe to the channel and like the video. Until next time, peace out.